What's going on, gentlemen?
What is going on? So we have another episode, Real Talk.
Absolutely.
Co-host Juan Agustin Fleitas. We have Josh in the house. Josh, tell us who you're with. What do you do?
My name is Josh Barreto. I'm a father, first and foremost, to two young rambunctious kids, to two young rambunctious boys that I run on.
I can't even spell that.
I run on very little sleep, but that's the dream, man.
You don't need to all sleep.
I'm a lowly realtor, kind of like most of the people that are on this podcast. You know, I love real estate. I've been doing it for almost 10 years. Other than that, man, I'm a cultural enigma, I like to say. You know, I'm half Polish, I'm half Mexican, so I got
that is a dangerous combination.
It is a dangerous combination.
I got Chicago in my blood, man. You know, I liken myself to Garrett's popcorn, the Chicago mix. You know,
are you caramel or cheese?
Man, I'm a little bit of both. It depends on the day. You know, it depends. But I'm out here living the dream every day, working with fine lenders, a fine team like you guys.
Thank you so much, Josh.
Just taking it day by day, man.
And then partner in crime, wife. She's been the same team 10 years in
she has not, no.
Real estate?
So my wife, I convinced her.
You convinced her to?
I did. She was actually a beauty chemist. She was in chemistry. She has a chemistry degree.
Okay.
So I convinced her, man. I needed her help, and we made the dream team happen. For sure.
That's awesome, man.
We've been doing it for about 3 to 4 years now. So, it's tough working with your other half.
That's what I was just going to ask, man. Talk about the difficulties, if any.
It's tough, but I think, you have somebody that you can constantly rely on, that if you have good communication with, you can kind of delegate some stuff here and there, how it is, and vice versa. Because with 2 kids,
No, at least I would have issues with that. I couldn't delegate anything. No, you're going to do that. I ain't doing nothing.
I think it's got to be a team atmosphere, man. And I think that's why a lot of those don't work.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, I see a lot of them, though.
You do?
Yeah. We have some on our team. We got like a realtor and loan officer combination. That's kind of...
Yeah, all the time.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not for everybody, man. But if you can make it work...
I don't know if I'd want to work with my spouse.
I think the scary part of it is that both are commissioned. So if you get a steady salary versus somebody's commission, then maybe they can balance themselves out. But when they're both commissioned, it's probably a little bit more scary.
Yeah, that I could,
I agree. But I think, as you guys know, once you're in this business and that momentum, that ball keeps rolling, you're not really too concerned with the commissions. I mean, I think if you focus on the relationship aspect,
we're a relationship business, man.
Absolutely, man. We're not, I always tell people, man, we might sell houses, but ultimately we're the product. We gotta get the listings. We gotta get the clients. We gotta be authentic enough to earn somebody's business. So I think a lot of people forget that too. And
is what you do easy or hard?
That's a great question. I'm going to say pretty damn easy, just because, it's in my wheelhouse, I love to help people. I've always been people-centric, I like to say, because too many people like to take the sales aspect of real estate and kind of just focus on, houses, closing. But in order to get to that point where you're, rolling them every month, closings and helping people, you kind of have to earn your way. You kind of have to earn your keep, And everybody's got their own secret sauce. I think that's the beauty of real estate, is that you can be good at one thing, and you can find your niche. But
you just rock with that.
So
you said that you're in love with social media, right? Off camera, you're saying,
man, it's a love-hate relationship. What can I say?
Yeah. What do you think about the realtors that do? I know you don't really do much social media, but it's like almost like a necessity, right? You kind of need that if you're going to be a new up and coming realtor, I think.
Absolutely.
Do you see like those meme realtors that are just doing songs? And
I see a lot of them, man. And you know what? I respect it.
Yeah.
I respect it versus just doing the status quo.
True.
Because I think a lot of people get into real estate and they get into kind of a boxed form of thinking, I have to do this. This is kind of what my broker taught me. This is what I got to do.
Yeah.
And it's really just kind of breaking free of those constraints, because once you realize...
That's a good perspective.
Yeah, once you realize you can kind of just be yourself and and kind of attract your client.
100%. You should be yourself. And there, obviously, I see some realtors that they just post way too much, though. It's too much of that. It's
all real estate. It's all real estate, you know?
Yeah. It's too much of that stuff. I'm like,
and that's what I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I kind of shy away from that, because I feel like doing too much of the same is also not a good look.
Yeah.
You know, because you kind of fall into this guy's a realtor. Oh, you just closed a property. That's great, you know, but how are you connecting with people? You know, how are you finding your clientele?
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
So while I might not be social media related or heavily social media related, I connect with my people. I find my client, you know, I can recognize my client walking down the sidewalk, walking on the street, you know, because I just kind of have a good.
So if you guys were a brand new realtor, what's the blueprint?
The blueprint, have a mentor.
Okay.
Number one. I think most, you know, I got in this business at 22, so I feel
young.
like,
yeah,
and that was before the rules had changed, because now you can be a realtor at 18. So at 22, and I remember I work with a gentleman by the name of, and there's a shout out to Lance Camas.
Let's go.
Lance Camas, based out of Wheaton. Great dude, real go-getter. His philosophy was 100 calls every single day.
That's not the world today, man. People are too lazy for phone calls.
I agree. Yeah. Well, this was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But and that was his philosophy, and that's how he ran his business, and it's working pretty well for him.
Yeah.
You know, and just kind of the work ethic, the cost of success.
Yeah.
I think that you have to kind of understand when you
got
get
to
into
pay your
any
dues,
business.
man. You got to bust your ass. You can't just automatically be a winner.
Exactly. Well, there's some people that are winners, man.
Well, yeah, those are asterisks.
I think it really comes down to your network. You
Those
know,
are asterisks,
there's
yeah.
some people that just have a built out network. There's people that trust them and they pivot to another industry and they say, hey, I'm doing this now.
Well, it's the same thing with social media, though, right? Like if you see, you know, shout out Sean Cochran, because, you know, his videos get so many views.
Yeah.
Not everyone's going to be Sean.
True.
Yeah. You have to have the personality for it, too.
Right? But if you think you're going to go and do that and it doesn't work for you, you get discouraged. So then if you don't have the game of patience, you're out.
Yeah. And I think that's the other thing, focusing kind of on your, maybe not so much your competition, but like your, the people you look up to. Eventually you got to just become your own. You know, you kind of have to find your own lane and just kind of develop, you know, just like Sean Cochran. I'm sure Sean, you know, when he started, he was kind of going, you know, a few different divergent paths, and then you choose one and you stick with it. And 10 years later, you're like, damn.
I like to do the opposite of everybody, man. If everyone's going left, I like to go right.
Yeah.
That's a good
Stand
one.
out.
What about you, man? For a loan officer, if you're starting right now, you just got licensed. What's the blueprint to kick off the career?
He's right about just making calls. You got to call your phone book, everybody that's in your phone book that you know, hey, I'm a loan officer. I don't think we do that enough. Like if you go to a grocery store and you go to the same grocery store, they don't know you're a loan officer, then you're not doing your job.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And that's the issue. Like they won't say what they're doing. Like you're supposed to let everybody know. Everybody knows that I'm a loan officer.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
And we were just talking about that yesterday with Josh, right? We were talking about how, like, I feel like so much of our communication is based on assumptions.
Yeah.
You're going to lose with assumptions, right?
Yep.
You got to go and ask, speak up.
Absolutely. Directness is kind of what makes the world go around.
Yeah.
You know, assuming there's a cliche that assuming makes an ass out of you and me.
Sure.
So, you know,
I think I've heard that once or twice.
I'm the type of person that, you know, I don't like assumptions. I don't like to speak before I know or I have a good understanding of the topic that I'm about to, you know, give my opinion on.
Sure.
So, you know, to me, I think, especially in this business, I think any assumption is kind of shooting yourself in the foot in a way, you know?
So, like, on this one, I kind of feel like I'm almost making this like an educational podcast at this point. Like, so blueprint for success, don't be lazy, make a lot of calls, have a mentor. Cool. What do you say to those that are struggling to take off? It's not working. They called their phone book. They got a mentor.
Okay, so they're calling, and they're gonna eventually it's gonna lead to success. They got to be patient. This is not an easy, like, overnight. You're gonna start making commissions. It's a game of patience after a while. So you got to keep doing those things.
It's a tough one, Doug. As you well know, you know, when you first start this business, I think it's kind of like a 3-year plan, right? Your first year, you're kind of getting your feet wet.
Yeah.
You're kind of building out your brand.
Yep.
People are starting to know you a little better.
Yep.
Your second year, some of those people are starting to use your services, right? You're starting to get a little bit more word of mouth, referral. By your third year, I think that's where you really got the momentum. You know, you might be doing your own branding, you might be doing your own social media. You've got your referral base that knows you, that trusts you.
Yep.
And you know, I think most people they don't hit that running stride until their third year.
So you're saying, I agree with that. It is a game of patience.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You're expected to suck at first, guys.
Yeah,
of course. You got to fail first. You got to fall.
So
first.
you're saying that you got to commit 3 years.
Easy. Yeah.
Okay. Do you agree with the 3-year time frame?
It's different probably for a realtor and loan officer. For when I started, I think I gave myself, honestly, a shorter window. I give myself like 120 days. Like if I can't close a loan in 4 months, then I'm going to go back to what I was doing before.
Yeah.
Right.
But luckily enough, I did close a bunch of loans in that 4th month. Got my first paycheck and I stayed in. But, you know, it's a little different.
You know, as you well know, you know, man, a closing is great. And I think everybody, you know, I think that's part of the business. We love to celebrate. But, you know, I think to get to that on the real estate side, the realtor side, I mean, you know, to get those consistent closings, it does take some time.
Yeah. Do you guys think some people are just meant to not be good?
Yeah, I think so.
That you may suck.
I think so.
Might not be for you.
Exactly.
May not be for you.
Yeah. This might not be your industry. Yeah. So I think you could be, you know, it depends on your skills. Depends on your skill set. It depends on your personality.
But success is not the same, right? Like Juan's success could be a specific number and a specific target, right? Mm-hmm. Where someone making 80 grand may be successful in their eyes.
Correct.
Right? Mm-hmm. So I think, like, for example, if I were to say I have an actual blueprint, step by fucking step, to make $200,000, and somebody's like, I'll sign up for that, Doug. And then they get 100 grand.
Yeah.
And that's the most they've ever made in their life.
Mm-hmm.
How do they now make that leap to the extra $100,000? I can't teach motivation.
Well, I think it's, you know, I think once you're in the industry, you have to have a certain level of motivation, you know?
Yeah.
I agree.
But I can motivate in a moment. I think I can motivate any fucking buddy in a moment.
But you're saying they're going to say the same. They're not going to do anything better if they're at 100.
They're happy. That's the most they ever made, right?
Well, I think when you're at that level, you know, that's like the cusp. To me, that's like the cusp where you're starting to break into the success of real estate. But I think, you know, at that point it comes down to systems and your daily tasks and what you do every day. Because I think a lot of people, they don't realize that in a business like real estate, like this isn't even a full-time business. This is an all-the-time business, man.
It's literally an all-the-time business.
So you know, it might be 10 p.m. You might be sitting at the bar, having a little old-fashioned or something.
I only call him at like 9 or 10 p.m.
It does.
You're having your little old-fashioned, and there's the guy sitting next to you. You have a good conversation, and you know, he's got a portfolio of 20 properties, right? And that's just kind of how the business turns, you know. You might not have anything going right now, and then you meet one person, and then it completely changes your fortunes around.
I love the psychology of all this, though. Like, for, you know, there's cookbooks that people can't cook.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what I'm getting at. There's a blueprint to be successful as a loan officer, as a realtor. If we're giving it out, right? I think my coaching shit, you pay for this shit, right? You go to Core, you pay $750 a fucking month.
Or more, yeah.
There's a training platform that wants me to join them that's asking for $3,000 a month. Juan and I, we're giving this shit for free.
Nice.
Right? Yeah. So when people are like not doing it because they've made their own level of success, whatever that may be, I don't know how to turn that up. Right? So if anyone has out there that wants to go to that next fucking level, I got the blueprint. Start to fucking finish.
You know what?
What is it for the real estate side?
I think and I'm going back to my mentor, Lance Camas. He used to say, Josh, you got to want this more than me. I can't want this more than you.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
And you got to know your why. You got to know why you're doing this.
I love that,
you know, you got to know your why, whether it's your kids, your family, to make something of yourself, to leave a legacy. You want to be a real estate investor, whatever it is. I think that's the beauty of this business too. It's that it lets you be whatever it is that you want.
This may be super unpopular and shit, but I don't think people even understand what the hell their why is. Right? If you ask people are going to naturally say my family.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Like, for real, what does that mean? Do you want to provide fancier shit for your kids? Or do you want to, provide a better home? What does that actually mean?
I think for most people, it means stability, to be stable.
Yeah, but Josh, I don't know if people can even articulate that shit.
I agree. Yeah, I think 90% of people can't articulate a lot of.
Because if you actually had an actual target, then you'd go after that target. But if you just have a cliche headline target, I don't know what that means.
Right. I get it. Yeah.
Right? I'm going to work hard. The fuck does that mean?
It doesn't mean anything. Yeah.
Right?
Break it down.
Break that shit down.
Well, people, I think a lot of realtors too don't really understand that this is a business.
Yeah.
And you should have a business plan. And you should know
No one does a business plan.
And you should know the direction.
Half of them don't know it's the plan for that day. They can show up and the phone's gonna magically ring.
They just wander day by day.
And they wait for the phone for somebody to call or
not make
me rich.
Making things happen. Making things happen.
Yeah.
So ultimately, it just comes down to you. You know, I think most people, they have their belief systems, and they have this thought, and they see a lot of these other realtors that are in the industry.
Doing well, right? Like doing well.
But you know, you'll see their photos, and like I liken it to like climbing Mount Everest. You know, a lot of the pictures of these people successful, it'll be a picture of them on the peak. You know, holding some kind of a trophy, or they had a big closing, or their company just recognized them, and they don't realize that, you know, there's a whole mountain you got to climb. You got to start at base camp. Yeah, you got to start getting used to the altitude.
Yep.
And then once you start getting used to that, now
it's hard to breathe up here.
Exactly. And you can go to base camp level 2. Yeah. And you got to get used to that. And your body has to get acclimated to that. And I think that's a good analogy for any business, you know, because like Juan said, I mean, I think that some people have a 10-year timeline, and like Elon Musk said, I try to boil my 10-year timeline into 1 year.
But all of that, I don't even know what that means either. 10-year timeline for what? And I'm not saying you, Josh, because I think you actually know your shit.
Yeah.
For
I'm
life.
in general, though.
Life and business. I just think
we got to dissect things.
Most people, you're right, Doug. I think most people are just kind of sleepwalking through life.
They're literally sleepwalking.
Yeah. Man. And I don't think people really understand the gift of life that we've been given.
Yeah, I'm on a mission, man. I think Juan and I, we want to find some people that are awake.
That are motivated, that love this job. You know,
because this team is built by building other people, man. Like we have some... Next year, man, the level of success that people are going to see on the DB group, I'm so fucking excited for that.
Awesome.
But we want more awake people.
Yeah.
Right?
And not just loan officers, partners and realtors and everybody.
Man. Attorneys, everybody. More gangsters like JT too, man. Like we just want awake people surrounding us, man. You are your surroundings. You are your fucking crew.
I agree.
But one of the first questions you asked them is like, is this job easy or not? Is it fucking easy, right? Yeah. Because he loves his job. Absolutely. He's good at it. He knows it. He loves it. So it becomes easy. Yeah. When you don't love your job, then that's when it's hard.
Yeah, right? you gotta eat, breathe, and sleep.
Exactly.
Whatever it is that you're passionate about.
Exactly.
You know, shit. Actually, I think I have a second taboo word, bro. Denials. I don't do denials, but it's always a game plan, right?
Yeah.
Job.
Yeah.
I don't like that word either. Yeah. I don't like that word either because it's what we do. I feel like it's, you know, multiple jobs sometimes on the same day.
We gotta be a career. The reason why I don't look at the clock, man. When you look at the clock, you're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
If I'm working, I'm working.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
I got something to do.
The clock doesn't exist, I feel like, you know, if it's, you know, sometimes I'll be sitting at my computer, it's midnight and I'll be doing what I need to do.
Yeah, man. I'm the same way.
So
you got to take care of it. So
you got to find your balance for sure. Like I love leaving the office now before 7, but I go right back when I get home. I just want to be home.
Yeah.
And see, that's one of my pet peeves because I don't think balance fucking exists. I don't.
You have to identify what that balance is for them, though, because if you have kids, you gotta gotta make time for your kids. Date nights if you're involved, right?
True. Yeah. But that's why I just don't like that word. I prefer the word harmony.
Sure.
Because I feel like, you know, I think you can harmonize all aspects of your life to work and to get you to the level of life that you want to be.
I call it peace.
Peace. Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah. I think that's a better word. You know, you're at peace with the effort you did that day.
For sure.
So, you know, you come home and
let's go. We turned this podcast into a little different structure. Let's spin the wheel. Let's get back on track with some drinking.
So let's go. So we do 3 questions. This is your first question, Josh. We're gonna see what.
Oh, it went backwards, man.
Yeah, it did.
Least favorite part of the industry.
And you can read backwards. Let's go. That's talent.
Man, that's an easy one for me.
Okay.
When I gotta give people bad news, man.
Okay.
Give people bad news, like answer. You know, I just did it the other day, man. I just had to call my client. I think it was the second time I called them, and you know, I think real estate, it always comes down to what budget you have and how much you can spend. Even if you're a cash buyer, it doesn't matter. Yeah. And man, it sucks when I have to tell people you didn't get the fucking house, you didn't get it. You know, and I have to give them that pep talk and get them back on board, which is totally.
We'll pause on that. Did they listen to you?
They did. Yeah,
then that sucks. Then Josh, you hurt people's feelings.
It does. Yeah, I agree. I know.
But I think the reality is, though, some people don't listen to you, right? If you're like, I got to do an escalation clause, or I got to waive a contingency of some kind, or I got to do a quick closing, they're like, no.
I agree. And usually at that point, I'll be like, well, I don't try to point fingers. I never throw the blame at a client.
You fucked up.
I always tell them, be like, listen, man, this is why I suggested that. This is exactly why I suggested that. Next time we're going to listen? Yeah, exactly. So, but I've been lucky. I've been blessed. Most of my clientele, we have a good relationship, I think.
We're in a relationship game.
Exactly. And it's like I told you before, it's like I can recognize my client. And when you can recognize them, like, that it's the right fit.
Yeah.
It's the right fit where it's not just like, oh, I'm telling you what to do. No, it's a communication. It's a dance,
Yeah.
And to get to the end, it's a long dance.
It's got to be a discussion before that offer is submitted, man. If this offer comes back declined, are you going to be sad?
Yeah. Oh, I always are. Are you going to be pissed off if you don't get this house, correct. Man? Yeah, I agree. But, sometimes it's just the way of the game. I mean, it's not, we're not going to throw all everything we've got into one house, it might not be worth it.
And it depends on your client, because I'm an investor. That's the only time I get aggressive, because if I get a no, I don't give a shit next. But if I'm going for my primary home,
it's more of an emotional decision.
Come correct.
You better listen to your agent.
100%.
I agree. No, investment too, because I'm an investment focused agent.
Yeah.
So I have plenty of recurring investors, flippers, long term.
My offers are based on my 10% ROI and my recoup within 7 years. That's my personal rule. If I hit that, great. If they say no, next house.
Yeah. And you'll find a property that hits your numbers. Yeah. There's plenty. But once you
I just gave away my secret. You're welcome. Yeah.
We're giving away a lot of secrets here today. So
Juan, we actually had this question on a previous podcast. I don't remember your answer. What was yours?
What did I say? Least part of the industry. I think I said, family members or friends, sometimes when they ask you, they went with somebody else for some weird reason. They decide to work with you, but then they're coming back to you for advice.
So you block that person, you egg their house.
You block them, you lose their number.
Lose their number.
No more Thanksgiving advice.
Is TP house still a thing? It was a thing for me in California.
So it kind of hurts, because it's like, oh, I know you're a family member or you're a friend, and you decided to go somewhere else, and now you're still asking me for advice and questions.
My tip would, I have a group chat with my family.
Yeah.
And I threaten them. Let me find out. Let me find. Look, because lending's slightly different, right? Okay. Maybe someone's private.
Right.
No worries. But tell me that. Okay. I want to keep my shit private. Done. A realtor? Yeah, you gotta egg somebody's house. Because you're not gonna say anything private. Yeah. Why would they not use you?
Yeah, okay. I agree.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Right? People have privacy. I don't give a shit, but I know people have privacy issues.
Well, I'm that realtor. I do work with my family, and I'm
not saying I don't, but once in a while that happens.
For sure, once in a while. But
I'll help you TP this weekend.
Man, I think sometimes you don't even know. It's a blessing in disguise, man. Because sometimes the
sometimes they can be a headache.
Yeah, they're your toughest clients.
Yeah, they expect more.
How about for you? What was it?
Toughest part? I'm a little outside of the loan stuff. I think actually this was actually put on me with my cousin. We were just in Vegas, and she said that sometimes I have a bad habit of trying to fix people.
Oh, really?
And
that's a man thing.
I could see that because I'll see someone's potential, and I'm like, yo, you're a fucking star. Yeah. You should be a star.
Well, how's that not motivating and trying to fix them? How's that not motivation?
Well, to me, it's like, I get back to like, if someone has hit their level of success, I shouldn't put my level of success on top of what they already view as successful. And sometimes I'll do that, right? Yeah. So if somebody's happy and that they have peace, they bought their house, they bought their car, they're a great home life. And I'm over here, but you could be this.
Yeah.
Well, being this may take you away from what gives you peace.
Yeah, true.
So I struggle with that.
Okay.
Yeah. And success is relative, guys. Doug can do that to somebody else, and somebody else can come and do that to you, and vice versa. There's always a bigger fish out there, man.
For sure.
And I think that's part of the thing about success is like, when is enough enough? I think that's like, I'm not saying that there's
that's a tough question.
I'm not saying that there's a point where you're like, oh, I've had enough. But I think it more so comes down to being grateful.
Yeah.
And appreciating what you have in the moment.
You got to be in the moment.
Yeah. Because tomorrow you can lose everything.
Yeah, we're out. This is a weird podcast, bro. This is deep. All right, let's take a shot here. The first shot's always with my boy JT.
JT.
All right, JT.
All right, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Salud.
Salud.
That's far.
But yeah,
All
man,
right,
I think appreciation, man. Appreciate where you're at.
Yeah.
It's not about the destination. It's about the journey.
For sure.
All
I'm
right.
destination driven. Let's do another spin, bro.
Spin it the other way this time. Maybe it'll be in my favor.
I'll probably still go back a couple spots.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we got to fix this wheel.
That was a good spin. That was a good spin.
How do you date in this industry? So if you're a realtor, how would you meet another...
Another realtor? Hell no. I mean, I'm married to one. But, I think it's actually pretty natural. I've always, I've had some deals where the communication and the stuff flowed better than, and the other person might be of the other gender. And it's just like, I think most realtors are pretty direct, and it's like, hey, we closed this deal. Why don't we go get a drink or something?
Yeah, I need to learn how to rephrase this. I think dating within the industry can be easy, but I think if you have like a significant other that doesn't understand your schedule, the lifestyle, the events, the night phone calls, the inconsistency in schedules, you're on vacation, still answering your phone, still glued to your laptop.
Yeah, luckily you don't got to work nights, but I agree. Yeah, I mean, every
sometimes
vacation
we do, right? Because sometimes we have to get caught up on admin work.
True. Yeah. I mean, I work nights regardless, Sometimes
you're probably submitting offers late at night.
Sometimes I don't have anything else to do, so it's just like, why not? Why not just
work?
Just do something. But I think it's like anything, I just talked to a woman, my hairdresser, and she's in her 40s. She's older, and she's like, you know what? I'm dating a.
Was that a plug to see how young he was? Was that what that was?
It's in the range. But she was like, I'm dating this dude. He owns a nightclub. Okay. And I'm like, man, like, that's a commitment. That's a commitment. Lifestyle. You got to know that you're either going to be, he's not going to come home until 3, 4, 5 in the morning.
And everything's good.
And everything's going to be good. Yeah. Or if he is at home, then shit's probably hitting the fan and things are going down the drain. So I just think it's just a reality you got to accept.
So this was my question. I struggled in a past relationship. It was like, you're always working. Females calling, right? But they're agents or employees. Yeah. It's, or events always, right? It's like, damn, another event. Week.
Yeah. Staying out late.
Yep. It kind of eats and chips away, right? And I think that's tough. And then now that I'm currently single, I don't even know how to the dating app shit. I'm 38. Not on it, won't go on it. But when that first came out for me, I was in high school. And that wasn't popular. But now everyone's on this shit.
Yeah. I think back in the day, even in my 20s, people if you met, your girlfriend or your significant other on a dating app, you probably keep it a secret.
Right.
Now it's like, man, we met on
the norm.
Yeah, it is because the world has just evolved, and I just feel like it's.
I don't even know the dating apps nowadays. I don't know what they're called.
There's like 1,900 of them.
There's too many, man.
JT's on all of them.
There's some that are even niche based where it'll be perfect, for what you're looking for. And, but I just think it's a world that's.
There are niches. They're like lenders.com and shit. Like
farmers only, man.
Farmers only.
Farmers only.
Realtors only.
Podcast only.
Podcast only. I mean, hey, that's probably slim pickings right there, but
that's hilarious.
It's just one of those things, man, where you just gotta come to that reality of it.
I think that's what people think the question is. Do you date within the industry? I think that's how I understood it. Yeah. What's your take on it? Yeah or nay? Well, never mind. I'm indifferent. Yeah. To me, it's not about the industry or what we do. It's just, it's about the fit for me. Sure. And I mean, if there's chemistry, what else do you need? Chemistry. That's true. Yeah. That's tough. I would say nay. 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 Yeah. Be tough. For sure. I would say try to go nay. Yeah, try to go nay. What if your soulmate's a realtor, man? It's like shit, dude. Like, I mean, that's a loaded world. That's a loaded word. Ask Doug that. Is your soulmate a realtor? He doesn't know. I'm open to. I'll turn a nay into a yay if there's a soulmate, man. Yeah, I'll take a shot. Let's do it. Salud. Salud. Cheers, boys. I keep throwing this in the trash and I miss every single time. It's all right. Not good at basketball, Kobe. Oh, that was. There's the basketball guy over here, man. Yeah, he likes somebody named Jordan. Well, that's kind of who. I'm not gonna say I'm anywhere near the athlete as MJ, but mentality wise, I feel like I've just kind of pulled something from there. I don't like to quit. That is hilarious.
That's about as little as I got from MJ. But I mean, nice. I think there's something you can learn from anybody that's been in tune with greatness. You get
mentors from anybody, from any industry.
And MJ just sold his house, man.
Oh yeah, finally.
The one that's been listed for sale for like
2 impressive.
years.
I actually
10 years.
I actually, you saw that. I posted on.
How much?
I was right by there.
Yeah.
How much?
I don't know how much.
That's probably like 11, 12 million. Probably asking price.
Oh,
they lowered. It was at 25, I think, initially.
Yeah, and I think they went down to like 18 and still nothing. Now it's like, what, 12, 13?
And I always joke because it's like, I have family in Mexico who were also big Jordan fans. Yeah. And they've been taking pictures in front of his fence for how many years, and finally somebody decided to buy it. Yeah. Maybe they'll turn it into a museum or something, or or
actually, that's not a bad idea.
That's a great idea.
I agree. Yeah.
Like a shrine.
Only problem, it's in Highland Park, man. And you know how Highland Park residents can be. With a lot of foot traffic, so
sure,
it's a little, but it is.
That's just a cool idea, though.
Yeah,
yeah, like kind of like the Elvis thing,
I mean, if you get rid of the gate, the gate's valuable in itself, I'm sure.
I mean, he's got a cigar room in there, man. You just
like
feel like Michael.
We need to get like something set up in here so we can smoke in here. Yeah. That'd be cool.
That'd be awesome. Yes.
I don't smoke. I don't really smoke cigars, but there's plenty other things out there.
All right, let's do our last bit.
Last question.
Yeah. Go for it.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Go for it. I'll let you dictate this one. Where are we at?
Have you ever been fired?
Oh.
Yes.
Sounds like a hell of a story.
And it's related to my last comment, but I'll just do a quick rundown. It was my first job ever.
Okay.
I was at Menards. Yeah. And I was getting up at 4 a.m. I was living in Wheaton, and the Menards was in Naperville. So just to get there, I started at 5, so I'd have to get up at 3:30 just to make it. And I busted my ass. I worked there for a week, and they said, you got to go.
For what? For what? Yeah.
What reason? Back in the day, I was 18, 19. Mm-hmm. So you're experimenting with a lot of stuff, right? And back in the day, you're in high school and you try out marijuana.
I think we're talking about drugs. I think so.
and you're like, man, it's like it sticks with you, unfortunately, for a little longer than you expect. And
so you're showing up high?
No, absolutely not. And I was working hard.
So but you got high at work.
You fail a drug test that they make you take, and it's like and they take a week to get the results, and it's like, man, you've been working so hard for us, but we don't want you here. And it's like, all right, that's okay. So, but nowadays, employers don't even.
Nowadays, that's fine.
Yeah, they don't really look for that,
right?
So, but that's my get fired story. That was the only time. Other than that,
darn it, Menards.
I've been blessed, man.
Darn it, Menards.
I've been blessed. I almost got fired from my old man's business one time. Just
your dad?
Yeah, just because you know how it goes.
Drug test?
No, absolutely not.
Dad's drug
your
testing.
dad the dad knows, man. Dad knows. But it's a family affair, man. And I think sometimes when
it's hard working with family.
When you start butting heads, it's just it's probably best.
His dad is what 73.
73,
still rehabbing properties.
That's awesome.
He still does some of them. Not all of it. Some of the work.
He's going to live forever.
I hope so. Well, he doesn't want to. But, the man doesn't even have a full head of gray hair yet. So I'm like,
fuck. It's all over my face.
Praise the Lord, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's good genes.
I hope so. I hope I got those. But yeah, man. And
it was your dad that's Mexican, your mom's Polish, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
My dad is a dark complexion Mexican, and my mom is a very, very white Polish lady, so it's a significant contrast, And I feel like I kind of I hit the smack dab in the middle of it,
Yeah, down the line.
Yep.
That's awesome, man.
But I remember I went to I don't know where I think it was in Arizona, and I was telling somebody. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm Polish and Mexican. And he looks at me and he's like, you must be from Chicago. And I'm like, what the hell? That's a thing? I'm like, all right, man. Well,
that's accurate.
You read me like a damn book. But all right, good.
Oh, let's toast to that.
It's a unique dynamic, I'd say.
It is a mix.
Yeah.
That's an alcoholic mix, right? You got tequila and vodka flowing at every holiday.
It's also the hardworking mix,
It is a hardworking
work ethic.
I finally made one.
Nice.
But I think that dichotomy
I don't know what that means.
Of the two cultures.
Oh, what the fuck? Dictionary check. I don't know what the fuck.
The contrast, the differences.
What the fuck's going on right now?
You know, just kind of being, you know, I used to spend months in Poland as a kid.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
My parents used to send me there, you know, 3 or 4 summers in a row.
We just had a waitress yesterday that came back from Poland, right?
Yeah.
I love Poland. I think it's a beautiful, underrated country and everything. There's, you know.
Hey, we need a Polish person on our team, but we need definitely
Polish speaker,
a Polish speaking person.
Well, you got a translator. I'm sure I could find you somebody.
Yeah.
But that's something that's another conversation.
Yeah.
But you know, I think being able to put yourself into different sets of shoes.
Yep.
Is a particularly valuable skill in real estate, particularly. Yeah.
Josh, I enjoyed this conversation, brother. Talk to us. What do you got going on the rest of the year?
I'm just trucking along, man. I got a listing. I'm working on selling right now.
What's
I've
it?
got Country Club Hills,
Country
far
Club
south.
Hills? Okay.
It's a rehab. I'm working on 3 other buyers. I'm working on 3
Club
more
Hills.
buys and sells. I got one coming in Schaumburg. I got one coming in Bolingbrook. I got one coming in the city. I got a lot cooking.
Send the addresses to Juan. We'll share it to JT. We just kind of have like a rotating drop of these addresses that are for sale.
Sure. Yeah.
And a huge shout out to Josh. This year we closed 2 0 credit score files. One was conventional.
That was a tough
and
0
one
credit
was-
score, but how?
One was FHA.
Commercial.
FHA and conventional. 2 different clients.
Man,
0 credit
guideline
scores.
knowledge matters, man.
He gives me the credit, man, but Juan, come on, man. Come on, man. You know, I appreciate the partnership.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's amazing. Good for you guys.
Yeah. I want you to say we think differently in Polish.
My myślimy inaczej.
You could have said anything. I would not know.
Say it again.
My myślimy inaczej.
There
Yep.
you go.
Nosotros pensamos diferente.
Oh,
I
damn.
love
He's just
that.
dropping 3 languages. Let's
So,
go.
you know, that's how it is, man. And I'm glad to be partnered with some different thinkers.
Yeah.
Likewise, brother.
Some people that are focused on growth.
We appreciate this. This was a fun one.
That was a good one.
I don't know if we can do number 3 today because we may be at the limit, man. But that's another episode. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Good stuff, man. Congrats, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for having me, man.
That was fun. Polish and Mexican. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's it's one of my skills.